So we've got Simon Patterson here with Squickmans, and yeah, thanks for joining us on the call here. So what problem, challenge, dilemma were you facing before we met?
So one of the big ones was not having the exposure that we needed, especially on the SEO side. And it being such a foreign thing, when you're so focused on it, running the company, designing the products, creating really the best product offering that you can think of. All your focus, all your attention goes towards that. So it doesn't leave a lot of time to be able to really focus on what it's going to take to do good SEO, not to mention the amount of work that it entails. So it really is more of a full-time job. So to add that to a task list of even someone on your staff, where now you need to educate that person, you need to get them up to speed, you need to, and then retaining that person, it's a whole nother
Mhm.
obstacle in itself. So really hiring you guys, solved all of those components and allowed me to be completely hands off with the process. And obviously having that relationship component there with you guys, to be able to communicate to you just like normal people, say what our concerns are and what we're after. And the big thing was our exposure and not having that, and saying, okay, we have a great product. How do we gain that exposure that we need? But having you guys, really alongside us to go, hey, here's what you can do, and even make pointers and make hints and connect a whole bunch of other moving pieces and say, this is what you can be doing on your side. This is what you can be doing, or we're going to be doing for you to help out, or this is stuff that we can also do for you to help out. Really lessen that load, and offer a very superior product, and with a whole lot of transparency and a whole lot of trust. So that's it. That was huge.
Nice.
When you think about the amount of conversions you had, what does that look like for you organically to date from when we started working with you?
Um, so for the amount of organic, I think we went from, shoot, I think we're right in that same position. I think we're organically, before, I think we were non-existent, honestly. If you on the stat side, we were probably organic traffic that was coming through our site from Google. It might have been maybe one, two, three people. Um, I think I looked at it over the course of a whole year, and it showed only about one person. Um, I think we had some months we had one person, zero people. We had 3 to 6. I think 6 was like the highest, whereas now we moved into, I think we were 800, 900 people, these last few months, which is awesome because we're kind of getting notifications of that and seeing that information. And that's been awesome. And now we're getting guys where I'm able to ask them on the phone, hey, how did you hear about us? And if and I'm thinking what I would have thought in the past, which is Facebook advertising and paying for all these ads. And more and more people are starting to say, oh no, I just searched you on Google. I found you on Google. So
Right.
that's been awesome. So yeah, not even having to really, as they start to come in, knowing that the value you're putting in isn't just, where it's ad spend. You're kind of just throwing money at it. The money's spent, the money goes away. Whereas this is, you're spending money towards it, and you're really building, not just sales leads organically, but you're also building value for the company. If you ever wanted to get to a point where, for someone to look in and assess the value, you have a presence, online, you have a presence on Google. Whereas prior to that, I mean, one to six people a month isn't much of a presence. It's non-existent. So so that's it's pretty awesome to see that, and we're excited to continue to watch that grow.
If you could correlate that into sales, are you able to understand or know what that would look like in terms of total organic sales you've had since June, roughly?
Yeah, so if we're looking at sales and those extra, the extra leads that have been coming in through organic, I'd say, going from, if you're looking at 1 to 2 based on hundreds, if our product might range from 20,000 up through into a 60, 70,000, price range. On the low end of that, if you were just capturing 10% of that, you'd be capturing almost 100 sales versus capturing 10% of six, where you're lucky if you're getting one person
Fraction.
and on all those months. So yeah, maybe one, if you closed on one, you get a $20,000 sale from that. Otherwise, all of your other sales have to come from constantly throwing money into your ad spend on, whether it be Google, whether it be Facebook. But the disadvantage is you're going to have to spend 10 times more than your competitors to keep ranking in those positions. So, it's just an endless pit where you're just constantly throwing money, where this is just a consistent stream. You're putting money, you're maintaining your website, really in the way that you should be. Not knowing that in the past, I wish I had known. I would have done it years ago. But I'm glad I did it when I did it. So, it's really been awesome, to watch it grow. But I'd say on the money side, where maybe $20,000 of sales, say if we captured 100, you're 100 times 20. It's a significant, it's a hundreds of thousands of dollars that you're in a position to make from those organic sales, so long as your sales team is in place. Now I'd say more of the work is on my end, less on getting traffic in, more of the work is on my end of closing. So that's a great position to be in, because now you can actually refine your closing process rather than just spinning your wheels trying to get people through your page.
So last question is, what advice would you have for someone considering using our company for organic growth and SEO work?
Yeah, I would strongly encourage them. I would say sit down, at least schedule a meeting and take the time and ask all the questions that you may have. I'm a big question asker, so where it might be a longer meeting than most people, but I will say that you guys were able to answer and clarify any questions that I had, as an engineering, more type A brain, thinking of all the processes. So that was a great blessing to me, to be able to hear you guys communicate all those things, and then also just the trust, I'd say, to be able to communicate with someone that you genuinely feel like you can trust them. They actually care about your success, care about the growth of the company. It's not as common, and I've heard this saying more and more. It is more companies today are opportunistic, and less strategic in how they run a company. And I would say you guys are way more strategic, and you actually care about building a strong company. So on your end, how you run it, it's definitely not opportunistic. It's not get a client, lose a client, get a client, lose a client. That's not where I'd say your growth is coming from. It's gaining clients, maintaining those clients, and really having integrity and standing by your services. So I think that's a huge proponent to choosing you guys, sticking with you guys. And I've just been extremely happy with it. And as funds come in, it's just something you never have a question whether or not it's a thing you're gonna stop doing. You just go, why would I stop?